very narrowness of concern, there lay a highly concentrated strength. Boys will be boys, and some of us never leave that divided South called Never Never Land. We try to pretend interest in success and hide our passions, but deep down, we've never been ashamed of ignorance. At the counter sat a strange man with a worker's baseball cap, hair protruding down to his collar, and his nose had been broken a lot. He wore black horn-rimmed glasses, only ordered coffee, and used the language of hate in a loving way. I noticed him because he had on the same shirt I did. Walking towards the rack of rummage newspapers that circulate in 24-hour restaurants, he shadowboxed, saying to anyone who'd listen, "I'll fight that Mickey Rourke." His 7 cents caught me staring at him as he tried to make conversation with a thick Biloxi accent. "You want to talk boxing, man?" he said. "Well, sure," I replied, never able to curb my appetite for lunatics. Hard-pressed, proud, with all of his front teeth missing, Snake, as he called himself, knew the score as he rattled off a series of names that were history in boxing circles. He said he fixed Raul Rojas' eye after a street altercation when Rojas was drunk. Rojas used to be featherweight champion of the world. Now he's a wino. I asked Snake why so many great fighters were down hard on their luck. He said, "They're broken, man." Well, for 2 weeks, my little brother, the only liberal in Leawood, Kansas, had been calling me relentlessly on the phone, reminding me that he was going to see Mickey Rourke fight Mohawked Mad Dog Bentley. Rourke entered the ring with a greaseback ponytail to Guns N' Roses music, a sock on only one leg, and a pouch around his neck which carried the ashes of his beloved Mango that had recently died. He knocked out Mad Dog with the first punch he threw as the crowd booed. Rourke said later, "I get booed everywhere." That night, his white limousine was seen in watering holes all over Kansas City as he and Mad Dog partied late into the night. O'Rourke took off the next day, flying first class to L.A. My sister-in-law sold him his ticket at the airport. She said he had a strange aura. Funny, I didn't know my sister-in-law was the metaphysical type. Well, back to the 24-hour coffee shop, where Snake is still holding court. Looking at me with a twinkle in his eye, he says, "Are you a Mexican or an Italian?" "Well, neither," I say. "I'm half Jewish and Irish." "Are you sure?" he says, slapping his knee as he laughs. Well, with a certain air of propriety, anything can look legal. Mickey Rourke would understand.
At the beginning of Live at Budokan, that was just that sample.
What is this?
Beastie Boys. Favorite restaurant in town, Foley Deuce.
Is it that French place that used to be Stanton's?
I don't know what it was before 4 years ago.
Foley Deuce?
Foley Deuce.
Foley Deuce?
In Arcata.
Oh, that's the place that used to be the place of the homemade pizza crust or something.
It is the place of the homemade pizza
I had a friend of mine named Art that used to work there, hip little acoustic guitarist. It's food that's artistry, it's not just food, that's what you're saying you appreciate. You know, the pretty little flowers that are edible, the finer touches. But you're from a city, you know. I'm the kind of guy that if I see a 99-cent meatball sandwich, I'm gonna run to find it. The only unfortunate thing is that when you get it with all the fixings, you're hard-pressed to find the meatball inside. Very hard-pressed.
I mean, I think it's the ambiance, too.
The ambiance.
It's part of it, the bright yellow colors, and it has Joy Dallas art, and it's real stark, and it hits you.
Is it expensive?
No, mid-range, but it's an occasion when you go.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, everybody's kind of like, just dressed a little nicer. You know, they don't have ties, but they're just a little, you know, but...
They're there to celebrate the artistry of the meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just some hash house. You know?
Oh, it's beautiful.
You're not just getting
It's
a product.
beautiful. You're looking at an art show. And
You know,
keeping the
I
brands
don't know. You know, I
confident,
don't know.
need-
I don't know really. You know, I think I find eating sort of an intimate kind of thing. I don't know if I like really getting dressed up and parading myself. You know, with other
But
probably
dressed up
more.
in
I'll probably getting dressed up in Arcata, right?
dressed up in Arcata is just
That's a sad thought.
tucking your shirt in. I'm saying
Oh.
into your jeans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly like dressing up, putting on a
But isn't
tie.
Hey Juan's just down the corner, my friend?
Exactly.
Hey Juan's is just
Exactly.
down the corner, you know, where Rasta John holds court.
But you can only have a burrito once a week until you need to move on to another flavor.
Yeah, but you can always have a taco with everything you want on it and a nice big generous slab of guacamole.
After living in San Francisco.
And talking about ambiance or whatever, you know, I mean, you're not going to find any hipper crowds in the grunge scene at Hey Juan's.
I think so. I haven't seen it on.
Got a big guy, man.
Yeah, I'm old tech. But it served me right.
Oh, yeah, you're
really
on. Yeah. Just don't get that
It's
high
just a
contrast phenomenon.
Very, very minimal.
Sound bites. Pat Buchanan's forte. But in the 50s, the debate and the dialogue sometimes got a little more heavy-handed with that. You know, Arthur Miller in The Crucible, that was his answer to the House Un-American Activities. When, like, you know, he was called names. It wasn't just a soundbite. He gave them back a 4-act play that went all the way to Broadway. All the way to Broadway. Right, you know.
Passer, être seul, être libre, avoir l'œil qui regarde bien, la voix qui vibre, mettre, quand il vous plaît, son feutre de travers, pour un oui, pour un non, se battre ou faire un verre.
There's no way of getting around it. We live, most of us pay taxes, and then we die. We come into this place alone and we go out of it, usually alone, unless it's like a double suicide package.